Hey guys, Nina Sapala here. This is a place we talk about personality typing with a spiritual understanding. This week on the blog, I'm talking about why I don't believe your personality type is your identity. It's a big topic because a lot of my clients and just a lot of people in general, I feel many of us look to our personality type and use it as an identity. Oh, I'm an extrovert, therefore I am. I'm an introvert, therefore I am. I don't believe this to be true. I mean, I think where there's been some identity issues with this is through career typology, which is kind of what it was made to do at the time. We have to remember that career typology was introduced by, the mother-daughter duo of Myers-Briggs at the end of World War II. It was a horrific time in history, if you think about it. Seeing some similarities here, but anyhow, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But what I'm saying is that during the time, it was very appropriate because this was a time of rebuilding, of reinvention. Big corporations, were lacking employees. They were, again, right or not, or how our history is written, they were pulling women out of the workforce and they were trying to replace them, which they thought, with men who would be the best fit for their corporation or their company and their company culture and their brand and their belief systems, whatever those are. And obviously it's for profitability and profit. Let's just say what it is, profitability and profit. I do think that career typology on some level was used to help people define their careers as well. But what I know, and I think it's a Gallup poll that said 85% of people right now in the population are unhappy with their careers. So there's something missing. There's something obviously missing from this. And most of the people we talk with, they're not really happy. They're not soul fulfilled. They're not deeply fulfilled with their career type. But I don't want to talk about all that right now, but I'm just giving you the background of where I'm going with why I don't believe your personality type is your identity. Another thing I see that I think is really cruel, I think it's very unimaginative, I think it's boring, is all these memes and these, these undermined or underhanded jokes people share maybe about introverts or extroverts or specific personality types. I get it. I'm self-deprecating too. I do make fun of myself. Ask anybody. I'm the first one to criticize myself. So I get that, but I think if it becomes so popularized in culture, when this has become such a popular thing to say an introvert is this, or say an extrovert is this, or say an ENTP is this, or an INTJ is this, and this and this and this, you're spouting untruths because you have no idea. I don't have any idea. Nobody has any idea except for the person themselves who is that type. Now, how they follow the indicators of the type is their journey. It's their path. It's not for us to label or identify. And if you do, you need to figure out why you're doing that because something inside of you is not happy. It's not settled. Or maybe you haven't identified the fears and the misgivings that lie in yourself. And I think further down the rabbit hole with this is all the social media stuff. What begins to happen is, sorry, I'm shaking a little bit. I'm moving my camera on because I can't get this thing to work right. I got to figure this out. Anyhow. But I think what happens is people will laugh, but I think once they get off social media and they start thinking, wow, why can't I do that? Or why am I like that? Or do people really feel that, think that about me? And they start having these very dark and fearful thoughts about themselves. So while we think it's all funny and let's do a meme and let's do this and everybody claps and joins in, thinks it's funny, blah, 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 blah. Is it really funny? Or is it cruel? I don't know. We got to start thinking about that. because we can't keep on treating each other like that. It's just wrong. You know, we have to respect each other for our traits, because everybody, I mean, I'm going through my book right now and I'm looking at all the 16 personality types, and every single one, every single type has so much to give. And it's not in a linear fashion. It's not linear. So that's why I say your personality type can't identify you. It can indicate traits and behavior patterns, but it can't solely identify you. And I say this because each of us has a soul path, whatever you want to call that. We have a life journey. We're here for a purpose. Every single one of us is here for a purpose. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. Right now, you could be homeless sitting on the street. You have a purpose. It's compassion. It's to teach others how grateful they should be for what they have in their life. Everyone has a purpose. Everyone. So what I'm talking about, and what I'm going to be teaching, what I have been teaching, is personality typing with a spiritual understanding, right? Sorry guys, I got to shift this a little bit. I know, just put up with me. I'm a crazy DIYer. So when I say personality typing with a spiritual understanding, what I'm talking about is when your personality type is healthy, when all the traits are healthy, and you understand that your personality type was divinely instituted and assigned to you for your specific soul path here on earth. So your personality type, which includes all your traits, are very specific to your path here on earth. So when that's healthy, when I say healthy, I say it's you've released many of your fears, or you figured out your fears from within your personality type, because you can do that. There's so much hidden in your personality type that many of us just go, I'm an ENTP, I'm this, they call me this, and you just go on about your business and you don't even look at it. I want you to start looking at it. This is important. It's so important. And I'll tell you why. Because if you establish a healthy and well-balanced personality type that's aware of your fears and you're conscious, that personality type is now enabled. It enables your soul self, which is connected to the divine intelligence, the unlimited potential of all there is. Now that starts communicating. It's all right. So now you have this wonderful, clear messaging center that you're no longer looking in the external world of fear and chaos and confusion and somebody else's opinion about you and competition and jealousy and, people making fun of you. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. Come on, guys. We know this. Let's go. Let's just come on. Let's get going on this. Let's get moving, okay? So when that personality type is healthy and you're in sync with your soul self, that means you've activated your true self. So your true self can now take directions from divine intelligence. So guess what happens? Instead of living in the world with an unhealthy personality type and taking fear-based actions, you now are living in the world with a healthy personality type. So you take divinely inspired actions. You create a whole different world. And it's not something from yesterday. It's not something that we already know. Michael Beckwith talks about this all the time. If you've never heard of Michael Beckwith, I'll put a link to him. He's awesome. But he talks about you can't create something new from something old. That's why history keeps on repeating itself. We're like, oh, we'll just do this again. Well, you can't. You're not awake. You're in fear. And fear doesn't communicate with love. There's two things in the world, fear and love. Who talks about this all the time? Marianne Williamson. A Course in Miracles. I'm going to put some of these links down below. These are some really good readings. And hopefully my book will be on your table someday soon. But anyway, This is really important stuff, right? So when you get in there and you start creating, not from thinking, because you know what? You're going to go back to the thinking process that you've been using for the past how many years of your life. That's what I did. And that's why I ended up in a 7-year life tsunami and I lost everything. I was trying to think my way out of it. Well, I was thinking from what I knew. And what I knew wasn't working, but I just kept on thinking it. It's going to work out. Yeah, well, it didn't. And so if you're in one of these places in your life where things are just like wildly a mess, quit thinking from what is. I'm telling you, I know it sounds very counterintuitive, but that's for a reason. Because if you start thinking from that powerful, powerful place that resides within your beingness, that's lifted, that's grown up, right? That's in this world of unlimited potential, of the vastness of all there is. You're now connected to everybody and everything. You start seeing the world from a different place. You don't start looking, you're not looking backwards and go, oh, what do I do? And you think yourself to death, because we all do. And if you're not thinking yourself to death, I have a thinking trait. Some people have feelings trait. You feel, you emote yourself into craziness. You get so overly emotional about things that you cause so much confusion and so much distraction. And a lot of times it's a victim. You play a victim role. You're traumatized. Thinkers become arrogant and angry. We all have our ways of dealing. Some of them are going to be very different from mine because you're you. Your soul has a path with stumbling blocks along the way that are explicitly designed for you to help you fall. So when you rise up totally different than when you fell. That's what I've done. So I know it works. A lot of people don't like to fall. A lot of people don't like to change. A lot of people just like to bitch about what is. Oh, look at this. This is fun. Okay. And that's fun. You know, you can bitch about everything. I don't care. That's your life. If that's where you want to stay, that's fine too. I'm not judging it. Because you're going to reach a point when all of that becomes just so hard for you. You become exhausted of your own bitching, because that's what I did. So I'm not judging. I did it. I was in your shoes. We've all, you know, everything that somebody criticizes you about or says something about you or somebody else, or we're all sovereign beings. We've all stumbled. We've all done things we're not very proud of. We've all taken actions that we're like, knocked yourself in the head and go, what the hell are you thinking? Nina, what'd you do that for? But you do it to learn. Right? So don't be ashamed of that. Embrace it as it was a great time of learning. And if you didn't learn from it, you're going to keep on doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's what happened to me. I'm stubborn as hell. But now I've gotten to myself, because I'm so in tune with my personality type, I start like, oh yeah, that's that trigger because of that trait. That fear comes up. So I'm out of balance. Where do I need to go? And I can't look out in the universe and have the answer. I can't look into the external physical world and get the answer. It's not where the answer is. The answer is within. Yeah. And you have to have that relationship with divine intelligence. That is who you are. That is very much who you are. You are a two-sided coin. You're human and you're a being. Your humanness is your 5 senses, your logic, the rationale. And your beingness is that unlimited potential, is the vastness, is connected to all there is. So you're a two-sided coin. You become a holistic one in the true self. Because that's when your truth comes out. Because when you find the truth of who you are, your true self, it never changes. That's when people come to me, they go, oh, I have 2 personality types. No, you don't. Sorry, I got to say no to that. And people, I don't care, you can have your opinion. I just believe that can't be true. I believe you've maybe identified yourself incorrectly. And then you've gone through some things and you re-identified yourself. And maybe it's still incorrect, maybe it's incorrect, but you're like, well, no, I still have that, because that's residue, that's fear residue, that's pulling you back into something that's really not your true self. I've had clients, and I'm like, that's not who you are. Here's why. And before we go any further, I'm not going to even do any more consulting with you, because I need you to get real with yourself and find out and really feel it, right? And I talk about this on my blog. I go, don't believe what other people say about you. Feel it. Feel into it. Does it feel calming and peaceful? If so, you're on the right track. Or does it provoke like anxiety, or like a headache, or a stomach gurgle, or stress? It means you're not on the right path. It means you're separating farther and farther away from that true self. Your soul's trying to call you back. That's what's happening, right? So when somebody says they try to identify you through your personality type, don't believe it. It's not the truth. It's not who you are. It's just not. It's indicators of who you are. And I tell you, because I know this for sure, because it happened to me. It helped me figure out parts of my true self that I needed to know and embrace, and know that it's okay. And I'll talk about this. I'm an ENTP. And I know this sounds hypocritical, but I've designated the word, the curious one, to my type. Now, I want to be real clear on this. It is not a label. I want you to start, and I'm going to do this next week on the blog. I'm going to list all the personality types and the designated word I chose to use for each one. This word is only a word that helps you re-look at yourself, re-know yourself, re-see yourself. See where I'm going? So I don't want you to look at the word as much as a definition. It's something that you can even journal prompt on it, and next week we're going to do this. And feel the energy of the word. So an ENTP. So if people don't know an ENTP, I'm just going to give a real quick brief on this. I'm an ENTP, the curious one. And I'm very motivated by creativity, novelty, possibilities, opportunities, putting patterns and things together. That's where I thrive, right? But I call myself the curious one because I think ultimately that's what drives all of that, right? That's what puts all of that in motion. So see, for me, without the curious aspect of myself, then the possibilities, the opportunities, the creativity ceases, because I don't want to learn. I don't want to be open-minded. Right? I become unconscious because my curiosity is not present in the moments of opportunities, of possibilities. So I didn't use the word to label you and put you in a box. I use the word to help you see yourself. All words have energy. I'm using words to help you see yourself and re-know yourself in different ways. Like some of the words they use for me is the executor, the visionary. What are the words they use for me? Let me see. I think I have some of them written down. The debater. I do like to debate. That's not who I am. I mean, visionary, yes, some of it, but I'm really more curious, because without my curiosity, I don't see the vision because I've closed my mind. I'm not open-minded anymore. Do you see how that works? Like, my curiosity motivates me. It inspires me for all the rest of the stuff. So I anchored you in a word to help you embrace that energy deep within you, to start re-seeing yourself anew. Does that make sense? Okay. And I don't want you to think, I'm really not trying to be hypocritical and say, don't identify yourself and then I use a word. I use a label just like I'm telling you not to do. But again, I want you to see that the word I'm using is not to label you or put you in a box. It's a springboard to help you re-see yourself, to re-know yourself, I don't even want to say rethink. Re-see yourself, to look at yourself differently through personality typing. And that's where the career typing and the spirituality typing is so different. Right? Because I look at everything through a spiritual lens. If you start recognizing yourself as a spiritual being here on the planet that can express that spiritual side of yourself through your personality and into your personal reality, all the other stuff will come. Your career, your relationships, your friendships, your health, whatever you want to manifest, it will all come. Because it all comes through the divine relationship. It doesn't come from the external world telling you what to do. That's bullshit. We've been conditioned to think like that. And it's wrong, like my dad would say, stinking thinking. See, we think we can think ourselves out of it. But how can you think yourselves out of something when you're thinking from a past way of thinking? See how that doesn't make sense? If you think about it, it's not logical. It's not, it doesn't work. It's just almost like there has to be some kind of metaphysical law. I don't know what it is. But if you start really taking that in and going, wow, yeah, like, how do I rethink myself anew if I'm using thoughts from yesterday? How does that work? It doesn't even work. So we've been sold to function in a society in a very fear-based manner, and a lot of the things in our society are built on fear. I mean, this is a good one. I know you've heard this because I've heard this. This just came to me. So how many times have you been in a job or something? There's always somebody stronger. There's always somebody smarter. There's always something bigger. There's always something better. There's always somebody prettier. There's always somebody skinnier. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I agree. What does that have to do with me? So, go do all that. But it's not me. I'm one of 8 billion people. I'm a one-of-a-kind person with a soul here on a mission. Why don't we recognize that and pull out all that wonderful stuff that's in each of our beingness and use that from a creativity standpoint? We're always so provoked with fear of you're not good enough. There's somebody else. Somebody else will make the money. If you don't do it, if you don't work 50,000 freaking hours a week, somebody else will. I'll pay them. You won't have your job. Okay. Now that's hard for a lot of people because a lot of people do rely on, we all rely on money and so forth for our income, for, to sustain ourselves. But I'm telling you, I believe this with my whole heart. Once you start thinking from the place of, I keep on pointing to my third eye. Once you start thinking from divine intelligence, you get shown ways that are just, you're just like, what? I never thought of that. It's because it just comes to you because you're in that energy flow of unlimited potential, a place of creation that's vast. It's a source that grows flowers and bees and trees and animals and oceans. And think about that. Think how magnificent that is and how vast that intelligence is. And we're sitting there going, well, yesterday I did this. Who the cares? Seriously? Shouldn't be relevant anymore. We can't be looking back and creating from a place of what we created from before, a known thing. This is hard, and it was hard for me because I'm like, oh my God, that means I don't know anything. And you kind of don't. You kind of have to surrender to that. But guess what? Your divine intelligence already knows. I know. So you have to have like this very big faith and trust. But that's what happens. And that's where I started all of this. And that's where I'll end this. Because when your personality type is healthy, it starts connecting into your soul self. That allows you to start opening the channels and the gates to your true self. Okay? So the truth self is now communicating with divine intelligence. It's getting messages from your soul self, from the unseen part of yourself that's still part of who you are. And then it expresses everything. It's a divinely inspired expression of your soul through your personality type. So you live in the world much differently, because most people live in the world from thinking, okay? What they're thinking, that gets expressed, okay? And most of us have been programmed to be fearful. It's just what it is, you know? But what we need to do is change the what is to what if, right? That's good, I like that one. So what we need to do is change the what is to what if. What if you created this? Like, what if you're a traditional type that just is really astute at creating like institutions and processes and so forth? We're going to need you, because guess what? A lot of stuff's going to go down, and we're going to need your beautiful, divinely inspired soul to create this anew for the betterment of all, not just for the betterment of a few. Every single personality type has a role to play in the planet. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. And I don't believe God would have revealed personality typing if it wasn't utterly important. It is. It's very important. It's foundational to who you are. It doesn't identify you, but it's the foundation where you start creating yourself from divinely inspired actions, from the truth of who you are, not from fear. Not from fear. All right? And I do talk about fear in the blog last week. So I even offered a little mini course. So if you want to start going through that, that's great. Go through it. You know? Because we live in very trying times. But again, if you believe this, if you believe that what you're thinking, you keep on pulling the thoughts of what's going on in the world to your mind, that's what's going to happen. You know? I was just talking to a friend of mine. She goes, yeah, but Nina, this stuff is real. I said, it is. You know why? Because people are attracting it to themselves. And I know people are going to go, oh, that can't be right. If you believe that all energy you create from the energy, and that we're energy beings and you create from that, and you got to believe that. So keep your minds clean. If you go to fear, pick up something that makes you happy. Go hug your dog. Go take a walk. Go hug a tree. I don't care what you do. Do something that makes you feel good about yourself. Get your mind back out of that darkness, because it will take you down a rabbit hole. And believe me, I've been down a couple these past couple of months. And it's just like, holy crap, Nina, you got to get a grip on yourself. Nobody wants to be there, right? And it's just, you just keep on attracting more to you. So, you know what, here again, these are my beliefs. These are my opinions, and this is what I've experienced in my life. And take what resonates, leave the rest. But go find yourself. Go find your true self. The truth of who you are. It will never change. Oh my God, that's legacy living, baby. That's a cool place to be. Legacy living. I love you all. I want you to find your true self. I want you to maybe stop participating in the memes. I think they're just kind of mean and cruel. Social media can be a cruel, cruel place. It's hurtful. And you don't need any more things that are hurting you. You need things that are going to lift you up. Find spiritual books or texts or poems or music or painting or baking, or create something that lifts you up. Pottery, whatever it is. Replace those things. Yes, replace those things with the media. Get off that crap. You know, it's just too cruel. It's just, you know, we're all so beautiful. We don't need that. You know, we just don't. I don't believe that we do. Again, take what resonates, leave the rest. I love you all. Go find your true self. Be your truth. Walk in your light. You know how many people you'll attract? I'm going to say this again. I love this one because it's so true. When you are aligned with your true self, you're more powerful than a million people that aren't. So what do you want to do? Do you want to align with your true self? Or do you just want to stay stuck in this chaos and all this crap that's going on? Look, how's it working for us? It hasn't. It keeps on repeating itself. I feel like we're back in Roman times, you know? And so many people are so, you know, oppressed. For what? You know? Here we go again. Is it like the Dark Ages again? Like, come on. Let's switch your lights on. Find your true self. That switches your light on. Become that person that's aligned. You become the lighthouse. You're a million times stronger and more powerful and more brighter than one that isn't. So think of that. That's enough to motivate you, right? I know I'm going to get a stand because this thing's all wobbly, but I'm going to let it go for right now. I love you guys. Thanks for putting up with my wobbly YouTube videos. I hope the message resonates. I hope you find things in it that you can take to heart and start applying to yourself. Please don't identify with anything but who you are. Don't believe everybody. Believe yourself. Feel into it. If somebody says something to you, feel into it. How does it make you feel? It might be something you have to learn, but it might be something they're deflecting on you because that's what they need to learn. We have to become responsible and loving human beings and compassionate and caring and show kindness to everyone you meet. That's what raises consciousness. That's what brings you into alignment. That's where your power is. Your power comes from your divine intelligence. It doesn't come from the external world. All right. Subscribe. Press the little belly button. And I know, it sounds like I said belly button, but I said bella button. If you like this, share it if you feel inclined. I appreciate you. I love doing these. I'm going to keep on doing them. Like I've always said to myself, I don't care if I reach one person. One person in alignment is a million times more powerful than another that isn't. So if I can reach one person, jackpot for me. Love you all. Have a great, great, great week. And we'll talk real soon. Bye for now. Nina.